Every morning starts with a choice. Don't settle for just coffee. Rise up with strong coffee. Meet the world's strongest cup of joe. Strong isn't just a drink, it's a movement. And strong stands for striving to reach our natural greatness.
Born from one simple need to be better. They rebuilt coffee from the ground up, infusing organic coffee with collagen, protein, nootropics, and functional ingredients that fuel your body and sharpen your mind. There's no crash, no compromises, just clean energy, focus, and flavor that fires you up.
Whether you're chasing kids, chasing goals, or chasing greatness, don't just wake up, rise up. Strong coffee, the world's strongest cup of joe, for a world ready to be better.
Use code INFOGO at checkout to save 15%. Yeah, well, I liked educational things. My mom had, see, the next version up, I guess, in my opinion, would be one of those elite pads.
But let's stick in the 50s first. You had spinning tops and cap guns, tin and metal tops painted in bright post-war colors. They were cheap, durable, endlessly entertaining. Cap guns, they kind of copycatted the cowboys' revolvers, and this was inspired by radio and early TV westerns like The Lone Ranger and Hopalong Cassidy. Anyway, so cowboys became cultured heroes, and toy companies sold millions of tiny six shooters each Christmas. But by the 1970s, safety concerns and changing attitudes towards toy guns, well, kind of made those tiny toys disappear from the toy aisles.
I had a cap gun as a kid.
I did too. And they used to sell these ones that would have like these little bullets you would put in it, and it would be like tear gas or something like that. And you would shoot it and it would leave this little cloud.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't walk into a tear gas cloud.
I don't think we had those, but I mean, either way, I like the the sulfur smell, I guess, from the little caps is nostalgia to me. So, some other notable mentions here is Lionel trains, the Ferraris of the 1950s, Christmas, symbol of prosperity, motion, and the American dream.
Then you had Tinker Toys and Erector sets, which encouraged hands-on creativity. It was early STEM play before STEM was a term.
And then Slinkies. Of course, everybody should know what a Slinky is for sure, but they came around in 1945. Can you believe how old they are?
No, and they're still around today.
They are still around today and still heavily sought after.
Yeah,
In any case, accidentally invented when a naval engineer dropped a spring and quickly became a post war icon.
I say that, but deserves a dash all on its own.
Agreed.
Yeah. And by the way, the plastic slinkies, they're not good. Go look for the metal ones.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Either way, they suck to untangle when they get tangled.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. I would agree with that. You might as well just throw the freaking thing away when that happens.
Well, and that's the bad thing. Like plastic ones, you can pretty much you can untangle them for the most part and they're still kind of okay. The metal ones, if you bend that accidentally, it's ruined.
Yeah, it's done. It's over.
Yes.
Slinky, Slinky, the most wonderful thing. Slinky. Well, I can't remember the old jingle. Uh,
Dang. Sad.
Anyway, if you would like to hear me sing the Slinky jingle, go to Patreon, become a member. So, early TV ads like Mr. Potato Head in 1952, this was the first toy ever advertised on television for kids that, you know, could now ask Santa for something they saw on screen. And the campaign was so successful that it doubled toy company sales within weeks.
And at that point, Christmas lists changed forever. And for the first time, advertising created national toy crazes where every child wanted the same item. Supply and demand here.
Yeah.
Retailers began organizing Christmas displays months in advance as a precursor to modern holiday marketing. Yeah, I mean, we still do that.
Yeah, and we really got to do that marketing episode to get into how they would tap the kids into really wanting to get these toys, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But the material shift, the introduction of hard plastics in the late 40s, it revolutionized toy durability and design, allowing bright colors and molded detail.
I used to have a plastic toy box. It's been pretty old. And I couldn't find another one. I went on eBay and found like one, but they were like the blown plastic toy box.
My kids had one. The boys did, and my daughter, when she was a baby, she would climb and get on top of it, and it would be terrifying.
Hmm. Yeah, me and my brother used to play hard with that thing. I'm surprised it survived us, but it did. I had
Well,
it for a while, and then I gave it back to him. So we're mirroring post-war dreams here. Toys symbolize stability and optimism and miniature worlds of family, travel, and invention. So children's play became a reflection of America's newfound confidence and prosperity.
post-war toys weren't just entertainment. They were small pieces of social fabric, teaching kids about gender, family, and technology. These simple toys built the foundation for modern play culture, where imagination and consumerism met for the first time.
In a world just recovering from war, these toys offered something priceless: joy, imagination, and a sense that the future could be fun again.
But let's go on to the 60s and 70s, where creativity and curiosity, well, they were brought together by bright plastics, sci-fi influences, and educational play.
Exactly. Plastics revolutionized by design. They were cheaper, colorful, lighter, and safe enough for mass production. So, post war chemical innovations made it possible to mold complex shapes and bright hues that metal just couldn't. And this gave birth to the plastic age of toys, vibrant, durable, and everywhere.
And then the space race effect, kids, they wanted to be astronauts, not cowboys anymore. The 1961 flight of Yuri Gagarin and the Apollo missions fueled an explosion of space-themed toys, rockets, space helmets, ray guns, and lunar sets filled Christmas catalogs. Outer space became a playground for the imagination and for toy companies to cash in on it.
So, shows like Lost in Space, Star Trek, and The Jetsons inspired futuristic designs. Saturday morning cartoons and TV commercials directly shaped children's wish lists, and licensing exploded. Every show or movie seemed to have a toy line.
The 60s and 70s were decades of innovation, optimism, and self expression. So, toys in this era, it reflected this. They were more creative, less military, and more focused on individuality and learning through play. I grew up in the 70s, and the toys that I had as a kid, I don't have no other way to put it. Kids, put fingers in your ears. They sucked.
They were better than what your parents had, I'm sure.
I'm I'm sure, but they're not as good as the ones my kids have. That's for sure.
Generation is always better than the one before, yeah.
Yeah. We got a rock on, cat. We're way behind.
Oh my goodness. So we got some examples of iconic toys, but they're kind of now overlooked. So Major Matt Mason in 1966. That's Mattel's bendable astronaut action figure with a spacesuit, lunar rover, and mission gear. And this is one of the first realistic representations of astronauts made before the moon landing. And it really captured the nation's obsession with space exploration, especially among boys. And sales faded after the real moon landing, and once humans actually went to space, the fantasy lost its edge. They're forgotten today, but a huge milestone in realistic toy design and sci-fi merchandising.
And then in 1967, the Light Bright. And I actually had one of these as a kid.
I did too.
And this was a creative light board where kids inserted colorful plastic pegs into a black screen, backlight by a plug, to form glowing pictures. But it did come with templates of like clowns, flowers, letters, and you can make your own designs if you wanted to. This really encouraged the artistic freedom and fine motor skills, essentially an early pixel art toy. Nostalgic favorite today, but rarely seen outside of retro collections. And, the brighter side of boredom before iPads existed.
I loved mine. I did. I think I played with that thing until it broke. I gotta be honest with you.
I I would like try to do my own stuff, but we had those little templates you would put up there and you would like, plug it in, whatever. I
Mm.
did. I loved mine too. I did.
Well, me and my brother were only 2 years apart, and that as you grow up, it's not very far apart, and so we played with everything together. Everything. His toys were my toys, and my toys were my toys. It's just how it goes.
I like how you did that. That's usually the way it works with sisters, though, for real.
And I'm the older sister, so that's
Oh,
kind
I
of
got you. Yeah, I was the older
funny.
brother, but me and my brother fought over everything.
Oh no, me and my brother fought over everything too,
Yeah.
all the time. Next up is the Easy Bake Oven of 1963. And I had one of these, and I'm not anywhere near close to the 60s. In any case, this was created by Kenner and used a 100-watt light bulb to actually bake mini cakes and cookies. It was marketed heavily toward girls and real baking for real fun. The design symbolized mid century domestic ideals, but also sparked creativity and independence. And over the decades, it's been reissued many times, but the original bulb powered models are now banned due to safety standards. So I believe it.
Yeah.
I even burnt myself on mine in the early 2000s.
Easy Bake Oven is now added to the shopping list because honestly and truly, it was innovative and it had practicality, right?
Did.
But it also would hurt people because of this 100-watt bulb. And it did evolve over time.
Well, it did also blend play and practicality that defined toy innovation in the 1960s.
Yeah, absolutely. The Thing Maker, creepy crawlies of the 1964, kids would mix plastic goop and metal molds to create rubbery bugs, monsters, and creatures, and baked in literal hot plate ovens. The smell of melting plastic became a nostalgic memory, but also a but also a safety hazard. And, and this represented a more hands-on experimental era of play before, well, safety laws kind of tightened that all in. And this was discontinued in the 70s. Well, I think I've kind of outlined the obvious reasons here, right? But fondly remembered by its weird charm.
Smell of burning plastic as a nostalgic memory. I don't know.
Just think of that. Those fumes, like, I don't know. Yeah, no. Burning
That's
plastic is not a good smell.
but this was also the time of lead paint. So, okay. So some other notable mentions is the spirograph of 1965, and this let kids draw perfect geometric designs, simple, hypnotic, and mathematical. And I don't know, it's pretty fun to play with.
Yeah, well, my favorite is next up, the Etch-a-Sketch, which was introduced in 1960. And this had a magic screen for drawing using knobs and aluminum powder. You could be creative with this, but you had to have a lot of patience because trying to get that square little thing to draw a circle was almost impossible at times.
Yes.
But I did love my Etch-a-Sketch.
It hours of endless fun. Okay.
Yeah, and then you would sit and try to write your name, and then somebody would come and shake the freaking thing.
Oh man.
Like it would just be devastating. Like you would get your name and you'd be like, okay, don't, and you would lay it down so gentle, and then your brother, cousin, or somebody would just come along, oh, look at this, and shake it up out of
Done.
spite.
Yes, and you're like, but I just spent 2 hours on that.
That's all day, maybe.
Right. So next up we have Play-Doh, and that came out in 1956, but huge in the 60s. Originally a wallpaper cleaner turned modeling compound. Wow. I didn't know it was originally a wallpaper cleaner.
You talking about the most successful accidental toy ever invented?
Absolutely.
I think, okay, Play-Doh is added to the shopping list now.
Yes.
Barrel of Monkeys, 1965. Simple plastic monkeys linking together. Proof that even the simplest idea could become a Christmas staple. I had a barrel of monkeys.
I have played with a barrel of monkeys. I might have
Yeah,
had some.
I had Lincoln Logs too, though.
Oh man, Lincoln Logs were the business.
Pickup sticks.
Pickup sticks weren't as fun. I did do jacks though. Jacks was challenging.
Oh my gosh, until you left them on the floor and your dad stepped on them
Oh,
in the middle of the night and
or
threw them
you
all
stepped
out.
on them in the middle of the night and you just like, dang, that's why they're so mad all the time.
But did you know the original Play-Doh wasn't made for play at all? It was meant to clean soot from wallpaper.
Yeah, and when demand for wallpaper cleaner declined, a school teacher discovered its potential for art class modeling.
So the company, well, they rebranded it, added some color and scent, and well, the rest is toy history there.
Yeah. And another fun fact here is toy safety wasn't heavily regulated yet, so many toys included small parts, chemicals, and or heat sources.
Yeah, go back to the creepy crawlies.
Or the
And
100 watt easy bake oven.
yeah, I mean, you stick your hand in there, touch the light bulb, and boom, you got third-degree burns automatically.
Even on a regular lamp, I remember burning myself on a regular lamp bulb.
Yeah, and if it blew, like if the light blew, I don't know, we're different eras here, but you would just try to reach up there to turn the thing to like screw in another one in the dark, but you would burn your hands because it was still hot.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
my dad doing that a couple of times. Because
yeah.
at that time, before light bulbs changed and stuff and became cool, because I remember the first time somebody was like, okay, we just got to change it. And it had been on forever. And then it went out and I went to go change it. And I was scared. I was scared for my little finger's life. Okay.
Well, it took me a long time to realize go get a rag and do it. I wasn't
Mm,
smart back then, which is
you
why
live
I
and
do this
learn.
show now to be smarter.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so toy ads grew flashier during this time too. So TV commercials in this era, they really emphasize fun, color, creativity over, well, realism, and toy jingles became earworms. Songs that kids would sing to parents until, well, they gave in.
Mm,
Like Slinky, Slinky. It's the most wonderful thing.
right.
I'm just saying, I remember that from way back when.
I remember the creditreport.com commercials or the Canine Advantix commercials. We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Okay. No, I'm
We
not.
know a
Or
thing,
education connection.
we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
In any case, the space age packaging was off the chain too, right? Shiny metal boxes, jet logos, and words like atomic, electronic, and super made everything sound futuristic, even when it wasn't. So, the grease lightning.
Yeah, Super Nintendo. Think about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the shift in imagination, play evolved from mimicking adults like the 50s, dolls and trains to, well, it kind of started to explore fantasy, creativity, and science. And toys, they started to inspire curiosity about art, technology, and, well, the world around them, far beyond Earth.
Yeah. And the space race, women's changing roles, and a fascination with innovation all shape toy design. Even domestic, quote unquote domestic, okay, there's quotes here, air quotes, imagine them. Domestic toys like Easy Bake reflected empowerment, and kids could create rather than just pretend.
Yeah, so these toys, they really help blend science, creativity, and they pave the way for future educational and tech-based play. They also help create laws for safety.
The
Um,
need for warning labels.
oh my gosh, yeah, don't let your child stick their hand in the Easy Bake Oven and touch the light bulb. Also, don't bake the creepy crawlies in the house. Try to do that outside, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Vent well. I guess really, honestly and truly, during the era we're talking about here is it's the
Open the
plastic.
doors and windows.
Yeah, hey, the black smoke doesn't mean a thing. You can always get some Play-Doh and get the soot off the walls there.
Right. Toys for toys, okay?
Yeah. I guess really the thing that we're trying to say, this is the age of plastic. You know, toys didn't just entertain, they educated, inspired, reflected a world looking at the stars.
Yeah. So next up, we're riding on into the golden age of fads, which was the 1980s.
Hey,
And
before we get into the 80s, what do you say we take a small break?
yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
And we're back. So as we dive into the 80s here, the golden age of fads, marketing meets mania and the decade of toy explosions. The rise of marketing driven toys in the 80s, toys stopped being just products, they became brands. And deregulation of children's television in 1984 allowed cartoons to double as half hour toy commercials. Shows like Transformers, He Man, G.I. Joe were all essentially marketing vehicles wrapped in storytelling.
You know, these were all Saturday morning cartoons, and kids were bombarded with commercials for action figures, dolls, and play sets that really tied into the cartoons they were watching. I remember the G.I. Joe commercials and the Transformer and the He-Man commercials while watching the show. Kids didn't just want the toy, they wanted the world that came with it because you could buy the figurine, you could buy He-Man's castle. You had to have the Joes and the Cobras. And then you had to have their attack vehicles. Like it was never ending here.
Right. And that really didn't change even in my upbringing, okay, at all.
I think Saturday morning cartoons kind of really started to fade away. And then you don't really see that marketing as much as you do now. It's more hidden than it back then it was more in plain sight.
For
Yeah.
sure. Because I remember Saturday morning cartoons too on every channel. We
Yeah.
just go back and forth between channels for commercial breaks.
Yeah. Like my brother would get the first 30, I'd get the next 30.
No, it was no. We were switching back and forth between commercials because I usually had the controller.
Where you were the older, meaner sister. Okay.
I was.
Me
I
and my brother were only a year apart, and so
Oh yeah.
it would be a death match for that controller.
I bet.
Yeah.
I
Well,
bet.
actually, it would be a death match on who would get up and turn the TV.
Sounds about right. Consumer culture exploded too. Credit cards, mall culture, and mass media fueled a new kind of holiday hysteria. Toy shortages became a marketing tactic and creating frenzy in headlines.
Yeah, and then you had the plastic and imagination, that brought bright colors, weird shapes, interactive gimmicks. Well, they defined the look of the 1980s toy. And it was the decade of more, bigger boxes, louder toys, flashier commercials.
And many parents were caught between amusement and frustration trying to hunt down the year's must have toy before Christmas Eve.
I guess we could probably do episodes on the must-haves later on, but let's get back into these now forgotten and faded toys. The Boglins of the 1987. I don't remember these.
Well, apparently they were rubber goblin like hand puppets with movable eyes. They were kind of creepy yet lovable.
Packaged in miniature crate or boxes with warning labels like "Do not feed."
And that really tapped into kids' fascination with monsters and horror like fun. Think Gremlins and Ghostbusters.
And they sold well for a few years. Then they kind of vanished when plush and electronic toys, well, they took over. Today, there is a cult collectible among the 1980s nostalgia fans. So if you have some of these, they're probably going pretty well these days.
Right. Next up is My Pet Monster of 1986, and that was a large plush monster with bright blue fur, fangs, and big orange handcuffs that kids could break apart.
Wow. Handcuffs. Marketed as a monster you can hug, a softer alternative to those action figures like G.I. Joe.
Right, and that bridged the gap between plush comfort and edgy coolness. The toy's success led to a short lived cartoon series and even a live action movie, but it faded quickly as trends moved to digital and action toys.
I would say so because I don't remember any the movie or any of that.
No, I mean, me either, but again, I may not be seasoned enough.
And then you had the Pogo Ball of 1986, and I do remember this. This was a rubber ball sandwiched between two plastic platforms, part pogo stick, part balance toy, if you could ride the thing.
It required skill, balance, and a willingness to fall
A
a lot.
lot. It became a massive playground craze for a few years, but injuries and short attention spans made it disappear by the 1990s. And this is a classic example of a toy fad, thrilling, challenging, but not really built to last. And I know you've seen these things. It looks like Saturn.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the
And you
best way to put
stand on
it.
the rings.
Or no, you could sit on them. Well, you could stand on the rings and hold your feet up against it. You would fall a lot. It was safer to sit.
Fair enough. So next up is Teddy Ruxpin of 1985, and I remember hearing about him.
He was pretty good. He used cassette tapes.
Ah, yeah. He used cassette tapes to talk and move with its mouth in sync with stories. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was marketed as the first interactive stuffed animal blending storytelling and technology, but you had to ask it the right questions.
Oh. It was hugely popular for its time and even featured in its own animated series.
However, it was expensive and fragile. Once its tape deck jammed, well, that magic was gone. And if anybody knows anything about cassette tapes, you know if you don't have a pencil to wind that thing back up, or if it breaks, it's done for.
It's done, absolutely done. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Or if you scratch that tape in any kind of way.
And yeah, you couldn't even play the B side after that.
No.
Teddy Rux's been seen today as both enduring and unintentionally eerie, especially when malfunctioning. Think Chucky, maybe.
Oh goodness. Or
I had
or
to. I'm sorry.
well, it kind of reminds me more of what's that game? Friday Night at Freddy's or something like that. It's a jump scare game on the computer. One of the characters in there is a bear, but you're set in like basically a Chuck E. Cheese with the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics coming to life to get you.
Okay, this would be Teddy Ruxpin.
Next up is the Garbage Pail Kids in 1985 and Mad Balls in 1986. And these were grossed out toys and trading cards.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Looking for your favorite band, team, or TV show, maybe that movie? Since 1969, Old Glory has been the ultimate destination for officially licensed merchandise, with over 300,000 items in music, sports, movies, TVs, and popular culture. And you have Christmas coming up. Have that hard to find person that you're looking for? Check out Old Glory. At checkout, use our exclusive listener discount code and get 15% off any product. All you have to do is put InfoGo in at checkout. That's InfoGo at oldglory.com. You can find the link in the show notes.
Are you too hot at night? Well, say hello to the world's softest sheets. Cozy Earth's bamboo sheet set keeps you cool, dry, and comfy all night long. It's made from bamboo. They're moisture wicking, breathable, and get even softer with every wash. Did you even know that you can make sheets out of bamboo? I didn't. I thought that was awesome. And they have pajama sets. Pure cozy elegance, stylish, silky, praised on Good Morning America and in style, and backed by thousands of five-star reviews. You can't beat the 100-night sleep trial and free shipping on over $50 plus a 10-year warranty for sheets. 41% off any product with code INFOGO at CozyEarth.com. Make sure you find the link in the show notes. That pushed boundaries of what was acceptable for kids.
Well, the Garbage Pail Kids, they were a parody from the Cabbage Patch Dolls, complete with snot, slime, and humor, where the Cabbage Patch Dolls were nice and friendly.
And Mad Balls were foam rubber balls with grotesque monster faces, which were playful yet disgusting. They
You,
both reflected the 1980s fascination with rebellion and gross out humor.
Parents hated them, which really, when parents don't like something, it really only makes the kids want them more, right?
Always.
We got some other notable mentions. Masters of the Universe, He-Man, one of the first toys designed with a cartoon show.
So then you also have Transformers in 1984, and those were, if you don't know, robots that turned into vehicles combining storytelling and engineering.
And then Rainbow Bright and Strawberry Shortcake, soft, scented, and heavily merchandised. They even had their own cartoon show.
hmm And Glowworm in 1982, which was a plush toy with a glowing face to comfort kids at night. I had a Glowworm.
Then you had Skip It. And this was a simple plastic ankle toy with a counter in it. Playground competitions everywhere. Do you know what a Skip It is?
I absolutely know what a skip it is. I had one. I had one that had a really long friggin' rainbow like tether freaking the girliest thing you can imagine. It was bright pink and purple and had a rainbow flag at the end of it. And I'm telling you, I had better cardio than when I had one of those things that I will ever have again.
Those things were tough.
Yeah, God, if you
And
slipped
if you
up and hit
tripped your
your ankle, yes.
oh that you're done for.
Oh
You
my
you
God,
it would hurt like
so bad. Oh, so we had Cabbage Patch riots of 1983.
yeah, where parents literally fought in stores to get the year's hottest toy, Cabbage Patch Kids.
Wow. News footage showed adults wrestling over dolls as supply could not meet demand.
So this was the first modern example of Christmas toy hysteria, later echoed by Tickle Me Elmo and Furby. And you can watch YouTube videos on people at Walmart fighting for a TV, and you got the same example here.
Absolutely. I had a Furby.
I had to try to find a Tickle Me Elmo. Impossible.
No, me and my brother both had a Furby, and my mom ended up misplacing them on purpose. Because yeah, you wouldn't touch that thing in forever, and then all of a sudden, out of like the depths of your toy box, it goes, "Ooh, scary monster." And you're like, "What? Where did
Oh,
that come
wow.
from?" That thing was a little creepy. In any case, stores began using waiting lists, lotteries, and police security during toy rushes.
Which really symbolized the beginning of the toy craze phenomenon that defined the decade.
What's the psychology behind fads?
Limited supply plus mass advertising, well, it equals desire and status, right?
Right. Toy fads created shared cultural moments and everyone talking about the toy of the year.
Marketing explosion. By 1984, toy companies spent over 250 million just on Christmas advertising. That was almost triple the 1970s average.
Oof, that had to have been a real culture shock to parents.
Yeah.
So, commercial jingles were designed to be earworms, and kids couldn't forget them.
Then you had cross media synergy. Many toys had comics, cartoons, breakfast cereals, and even movies to really reinforce their brands.
The example here with He Man and the Masters of the Universe, that toy line drove 400 million in sales by 1986.
Wow, that is crazy. I can't believe that though, because it had its own Saturday morning cartoon, it had its own lineup, it had its own cereal, like it had everything. Halloween costumes, like all the money that's generated by that. And the weird trends of toys began incorporating slime, sound chips, and glow in the dark materials. Gross is good became an unofficial motto for, well, many toy lines like Garbage Pail Kids.
Right, and toy stores boomed. Chains like Toys R Us became cultural landmarks and the ultimate Christmas destination. And when I tell you, I know my parents hated for us to see Chuck E. Cheese in the town that we grew up in, okay, because Chuck E. Cheese was right next to the Toys R Us. Shared the parking lot. They were together on the same corner.
Toys R Us brings back a lot. I know the chain is gone, but do you remember the giraffe, Jeffrey?
Yes.
You can
Yes.
be a Toys R Us kids too.
Yes, I was a Toys R Us kid.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh man, I could get lost in there. I still could as an adult.
Yeah. I mean, if you could find one.
Yeah.
So the 1980 toys, they really blurred the lines between entertainment and marketing more than ever before. Children became full-fledged consumers with their special brand loyalty, like He-Man or G.I. Joe, Transformers, or Barbie, whatever the case may be.
hmm And toys reflected the decade's boldness, bright colors, loud music, long hair, and bigger ideas. They really symbolized optimism and materialism in equal measure.
So many of the 1980s toy lines, they paved the way for multimedia franchises that still exist, like Transformers, My Little Pony, G.I. Joe. Even the strangest fads left a cultural mark, influencing design and nostalgia marketing. Well, it really kind of continues today.
Yeah. And so the 1980s taught toy companies a powerful lesson. Don't just sell a toy, sell a world. And once kids believe in that world, they'd beg for every piece of it.
So we're going to get into the 90s and the 2000s where tech kind of really starts to invade those toy boxes. You have electronics, fads, and really the dawn of the digital play. So by the 1990s, kids were growing up in a world filled with video games, cable TV, and, well, computers.
Yeah, technology shifted from something futuristic to something familiar and even in playrooms. Electronic toys became the new frontier of fun and blending interactivity and novelty.
It kind of really opened the doors for globalization of toy culture. So Japanese innovation heavily influenced Western toy markets. So think Tamagotchi, Pokemon, and anime-inspired gadgets.
Absolutely. And any of us 90s babies know they
Huh,
were they were awesome, except for you couldn't take your Tamagotchi to school and it was dead by the time you got home.
what is a Tamagotchi?
It's like a little keychain game type thing where you keep a little critter
Oh,
alive.
okay. I know what you're talking about. I do remember Pokemon, and I started to remember the anime inspired gadgets, but okay. I didn't know that's what that was called. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, Tamagotchis. I
Yeah.
never got one actually. I had a Furby. That was as cool as it got.
I never had either one. I was an adult in the 90s, so whatever.
Fair enough. It'd be weird if you started playing with weird toys. Global manufacturing made electronic toys more affordable and spreading trends faster than ever.
So, movies, TV shows, and music now define what toys kids wanted, right? So, toys became souvenirs of media moments. If a character was popular, well, you know what? The kid had to have that toy line.
Oh, absolutely. I was that kid.
I'm
Still
not
kind of am
saying
that kid for my kids, okay?
I was that kid too because I was all into Transformers and G.I. Joe, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
had to have them all.
Right. And ads moved from Saturday morning TV to the internet, magazines, and tie-ins with fast food chains.
Yeah, you remember getting like the kids' meals and it would have like I don't know whatever was going on in the world at that time, and it would have that toy in it.
Yes. I had an Agent Cody Banks watch.
I don't even know
I,
who Agent Cody Banks is.
that's okay. Interactive became the buzzword. Every toy wanted to talk, move, or react somehow.
Yeah, imagination was still there, but now it was really it started to be aided by electronics. Toys became smarter, louder, and often a little weirder.
To explain what Tamagotchi was, it came out in 1996 and it was created in Japan by Bandai. And this keychain sized digital pet had to be fed, cleaned, and entertained, or it would die. Okay. And over 80 million sold worldwide during its peak. That's crazy.
It did teach responsibility, well, kind of in theory, but mostly taught heartbreak when neglected pets, well, they would perish overnight, right?
Yes.
It was banned in some schools because kids couldn't stop checking on them during class.
Mm. They're trying to be a good pet parent, okay? So, in any case, a symbol of the growing bond between children and technology was playful but demanding. And the fun twist, modern Tamagotchis have been re-released with color screens and Bluetooth, appealing to nostalgic millennials like myself.
What
And
do
no,
you
no,
have?
I have. No, I don't have one.
You knew I was going to ask it like it was coming.
Yes, yes. No, I don't have one. I
And
buy my children toys now. I don't buy myself toys.
did you buy them one?
No, are you kidding me? I would never hear the end of it.
Furby in 1998. He was a fuzzy animatronic creature that learned English over time. Well, kind of, sort of. He spoke a mix of Furbish and human words, an early attempt at AI play, and became one of the most popular toys of 1998, 1999, and stores sold out well before Christmas.
Yep, no, that tracks. I definitely had one in 1999.
Yeah,
I
I
was like,
think
how old was I? Yep, I was about that age.
I guess it kind of went away in 99, maybe 2000.
I would say 2000. Maybe even 2001, but definitely after 99. But I mean, like I said earlier in this episode, you would leave that thing and you would think that batteries have died because you haven't touched it in so long. And then all of a sudden, out of the corner of the toy box and the very, very bottom of it, you would hear, ooh, scary monster in the middle of nowhere.
I bet that would be kind of creepy though.
Yes, yes. Parents found them especially creepy when they woke up in the middle of the night to speak gibberish.
That would creep me out.
Hmm. And some workplaces even banned them over privacy fears, fearing they could record conversations.
I'm thinking that's going to be the CIA.
Yes, yes. But it was a bizarre blend of cute and uncanny that perfectly captured the late 90s fascination with talking tech. And I have to agree.
Yeah, and I do remember this next one coming up. Hit Clips. And when 2000, it was a mini music player that played only 60 seconds of hip hop songs. It sold as accessories, and kids could clip them to backpacks or belts.
Yeah, and it tied to artists like Britney Spears and NSYNC and marketed as your own personal music player. I'm glad I didn't get one of these because if it didn't play the entire song, I would be mad. But essentially, it was a pre-iPod novelty, and that combined fashion and fandom. It was a quick fad. It had huge sales in 2000 and 2001 and vanished by 2003 once MP3 players took over. But essentially, it was a pre-iPod novelty, and that combined fashion and fandom. It was a quick fad. It had huge sales in 2000 and 2001 and vanished by 2003 once MP3 players took over.
And today, they're a quirky little symbol of the 2000s.
And now we're rolling into the next one here. We have Yak Back in 1994 and Talk Boy in 1992. They were portable voice recorders that let kids record and play back audio, sometimes with funny distortions. Oh, yes. I didn't know that's what they were called, but I remember that.
Yeah, and then that Talk Boy, it was made famous by Home Alone 2 because, Kevin McAllister, well, he used it to kind of trick the hotel staff there.
Yes, I remember that. And Yak Back was a smaller, sillier successor, which was used for prank messages and voice loops.
Both faded once cell phones and digital recorders became mainstream.
Ooh, ooh, I remember these commercials for this next one. It's the Bop It, and it came out in 1997. It was a fast-paced reflex game with voice commands. Bop it, twist it, pull it. And it was a simple design, but addictive gameplay that could be played solo or with friends. It became one of the most enduring electronic toys of the era and is still recognized today, which is so true. But it wasn't, I mean, it was a reflex game too, but it was also a memory game.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's officially wrap up here. I think we could probably talk about toys and nostalgia and our memory lanes.
Go
forever.
Go G.I. Joe? No, it wasn't Go Go G.I. Joe. It was like Go Joe something other. I can't remember. Anyway,
Dun, dun,
but
dun, 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 dun.
but yeah, Kat, you're right. We could sit here and talk days about toys and things from our childhood. And I didn't think this was going to be as long as it was, but I really want to thank the listener that gave us this idea. And you know who you are. I know you asked not to be named, but yeah, this turned out to be really fascinating.
Oh, I loved it just traveling down memory lane.
Absolutely. This was our own time machine.
Yes, absolutely. So, in any case, if you would like to support this podcast, tell a friend and help get the word out.
Yeah, if you really want to help us keep the show going, you can do so at Patreon. You can find that link in the show notes.
And as always, William and I want to thank you for listening. Whether you're new here or have been with us for a while, just thank you.
Yes, thank you. You're what keeps us going.
Join the Facebook group at Info on the Go.
Yeah, and over there you can share with us your toy idea or your toy from your childhood.
Absolutely. Or you can ask us a question.
But whatever you do, make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow us wherever you get your podcast.
Send us a text using the link in the show notes or leave a review.
And leaving that review does help others find us. You can also email us
infoonthegopodcast@gmail.com.
and you can find that email link in the show notes. Till next time, have a Merry Christmas.
Stay curious.